Welcome back to Crypto's Juiciest News, baby dolls. We are ticky down slightly as we move into Rectember. Every single year, Rectember is poop. Most of the talk of the town is about Donald Trump family token, World Liberty Finance. Is it as garbage as it looks? Yes, but you're going to find out more about that later on. Did they really launch their trash USD1 stablecoin on Soylana, which has a blacklist function just like Tether and everything else? We'll be covering that. What did MetaPlanet do? Did they buy more BTC? And President Trump, what is he going to say about the US housing market? Is there a housing emergency they're going to call for? All of that coming your way and more. BTC, remember, we had the red candle close, and now we have red monthly candle starting in Rectember. It is very possible that we front run the Rectember by selling off in August. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we have, this is the fifth one. If you remember, friends, I did say as well, I did say, I go, look, I wouldn't mind a red August candle because it resets the emotional euphoria of BTC. So that means we've only had 4 green candles, okay? The danger one is when you get 5 in a row. I mean, it has been over in the past when you get 6. So 5 or 6 would have been a bit dangerous. It's just to keep going up. But here we are. We have slowed down here. And that's what you want, friends. Like, even though it's outside of your control, going 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, that's nice. Okay. But eventually, see, crypto doesn't do like that forever. That's why everyone says, oh, this cycle is going to go for like 3.5 years. Yeah. If you go back to any cycle, 85% of the way, it's like crawling and crawling and crawling and crawling. Yeah, then it just hits an ignition point. Ignition, a lightning rod moment, something happens, right? Turbo gets activated, and then everything just starts rocketing. That's because people start to, like, they have enough confidence in the future, and they go, oh my gosh, this thing's just going to keep doing 3 steps forward, 2 steps back forever. But we keep going forward, right? And that's when they feel like the economy, and that's why it's reflected in business cycle PMI, right? They feel the economy is going to do them well, and they can start to invest in the future. Now, have a look at meth. Meth is still around 4,200, 4,300. Still hanging around here. We are moving through Rectember. We want to see some big, fat, giant moves. We have seen, I mean, like, this is the 6-month candle. Remember, there's still 4 months to go. Hopefully, though, we do, I guess, finish off this big 6-month blow-off. Maybe it's BTC 200K by the end of it. Maybe we'll get to see some sort of fantastical move. Just to let you know, friends, I saw an interview with scammer Freddie Kroiger and Kyle Chassé, okay? And Freddie Kroiger, basically, if you listen to it, Freddie, he deep throats the power law model. Okay, this is the Bitcoin power law model. So what is a power law model? Remember, well, here's the thing, friends. So what they do is, power law. Remember, you have things that grow exponentially over time, but nothing grows exponentially over time, right? You have gravity and force. Nothing in this world grows exponentially over time, completely, because eventually you hit a point where everything just explodes. Yes, everything literally just explodes infinitely. It doesn't happen, right? Everything follows a power law. So the time it takes for you to grow, that also starts getting squared. Yeah. So if it took you like 2 months to grow a 2x, the next one's going to be 2 months squared to grow a 2x. Now you are like 4. Then it's going to be 4 months squared. So 16 months to grow the 2x. Then 16 months squared, like that, right? And that's where we have that curve that happens in Bitcoin, right? And actually many things of adoption as well. Now, what they've actually done is just logged it here. And you actually see over time, see at the start, 2011 to 2012, look how long the year is, right? Look how long the year is. But now it's taken longer and longer and longer to actually do stuff. It's kind of funny. That's how our cycle feels. We're like, man, this is the longest cycle ever. But this actually pretty much implies in the future, you will have longer and longer and longer cycles over time in terms of how long it takes for stuff. But I'm not sure exactly how this fits in with altcoins and stuff. So we could think about that later, but it doesn't really matter. There's a lot of people basically talking about this. And look, I guess it's a good model because, look, it has 96% correlation. It's like absolutely through the roof in terms of matching 1 for 1. The thing, though, is This has 96% correlation. Yeah, but I mean, like it could still, if you check this out, friends, it could still hit 200K. I mean, you check it out. Where is, let's get the chart here so we can actually see where is 2026 right here. See that line? So yeah, it is possible we go up ticky here and then we go down. Let's go to 2027, which is right there, where we have some sort of capitulations like that, right? And we'll actually do that chart. Now, if you actually want to see the lines, check this out, right? The green line here, that's 140K. The maroon line is 500K. So this is 140K. This is 500K. You can see how these numbers, like it's such a small distance on the chart, but they actually amount to huge. So this is about, that's 140K as a median. But you can see it over time. Look how much it deviates as well over time. It deviates away from that the average price, right? A lot. This is 500K. I say fat chance we're even going to hit 500K. It just seems like such a gargantuan big number, right? Especially for stuff now. But if you're curious, as you move forward, where would like the bear market be if we move into 2027? It's 71K. You see, so it is possible. Let's actually zoom into this. Keep it very family friendly. Check it out. It's actually nice, right? It is possible where this whole model just holds over time. Here's 2020. Here's 2027. Right here. Yeah. So that's what you never know. It might actually play out where we come up. There's like this 200K. And then it just starts to roll over, comes back down, and here's 2027. Maybe we like skits everyone out. Maybe we peak, we bottom out like just January, like, you know, whatever, 2027 instead of late next year, or wherever 12 months is. Maybe 12 months after that point. If you want to check it out as well, that price is like 80K. Okay, and then this number here would be, I guess it's like 250 down to 80, which is, you know, that's exactly what we're kind of expecting. You know, Bitcoin around 2 to 250. Come back down around 80K. That's why I believe like 80 to 80,000, you're like, oh, that's not so bad. Yeah, no, not yet. Okay, not yet. When Bitcoin's 150, when Bitcoin's 180, when Bitcoin's 200, if Bitcoin pops to 230, okay, you probably have more companies, more Michael Saylors, and everyone's saying we're never going down. We can't go down. You know, US Fed, interest rates, printing, whatever it is, there would be whatever narrative, and then somehow finds a way to go down. Okay. Now, this is it just for the cycle ahead. Now, I know no one cares about this part, but I mean, like, check this out, friends. If you go to 2030, the average price is 488,000. That's wild. 2030, that's the next cycle, about 500K. If you go to this is interesting, friends. If you go to 2028, the median price is about 270K. But look how long it takes for it. After it breaks down the median, look how long it takes, friends. It breaks below the median in May 2022. It comes back to nick it, around nick it, my gosh, in March 2024. So it's about 2 years. And then look, it takes another year downwards, and it's only in the third year, my gosh. So man, this can be quite a deviation, man. It takes 3 years to get back. But the number of that median, that green line, is going up over time as well. But it's just, yeah, it's just showing you how long, man, how brutal this volatility can be. So pretty much, what's our conclusion? Our conclusion is that you need some Cranky G music. Seems that over time, we're just going to be going up and to the right, right? I mean, these deviations, though, they are absolutely, like, hugely painful, right? I mean, like, it took, like, 3 years to move up. And if you move forward, I mean, like, if you're curious, okay, Sonny, where is the average price in 2035? Check it out, friends. $1.7 million. Wow. 1.7 million. Now you're like, well, but you got to think about it, right? Property in the world is 200 trillion. Bonds right now are like 150 trillion. Yeah. And the stock market is about 150 trillion. So I've just told you there's about 600 trillion in those. 600 trillion. Gold's also going to be growing in the next 10 years as well. Gold is 22 trillion now. It might be, you know, it might be 60 trillion in 10 years, right? It could be 60 or 80 trillion, right? Just because you're probably expecting the gold S&P 500 ratio in 10 years has some sort of pop up as well. Yeah, let's say 40 trillion. So basically I've got 650 trillion of the whole world. I mean, it could even be higher, friend. There's other stuff I'm probably forgetting about right now as well. So like if you believe, so 650 trillion, if Bitcoin is just 1% of that store of value, yeah, 1%, and everything is 650 trillion, that means Bitcoin's market cap would be 6.5 trillion. So that would be like a 350k, 400k BTC, right? But that's just 1%. There's probably going to be a bigger factor as well, right? When it comes to all of that. I mean, like stocks, everything's going to be more in when you get to that. It could be even higher. We could be even looking at like at bigger numbers. The thing though is, it seems so nice. It's like, oh, just get one thing, just goes up and to the right forever. And I'm not sure about that, man. I'm just not sure. I remember, friends, my avatar is literally buy Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm just not sure about that because there's a lot of smart people in crypto. Okay, and they are chipping away at what makes Bitcoin competitive and special. Okay, they're chipping away at it. Yeah, they're engineering cults. Okay, so we know someone like Richard Hart, he's gnawing away at their heels. And it's not just Richard Hart, everybody else. Utility, yield, everything. Okay, now here's the thing, right? You might say, Shomi, never, preposterous. I'll say, shh, put your pants back on. Because gold's market cap, gold's 22 trillion. If you add up the biggest US network effect companies, Tesla, you got Netflix, Amazon, Google McDougal, you add them up, right? Apple, Tim Crapple's company, you add them up, they are replacing gold. And you're like, no, that makes no sense. It makes sense. Listen, I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you. And NVIDIA as well, their size of their networks are so global and so big that they're replacing gold. Because they're network effects, okay? Gold is also a network effect. It is analog. It's just not digital. You get it? So we're probably going to see this new age come in over time. And you got to remember as well, friends, this is undeniable. Or every millennial, so every single person, say, under the age of 40, right, especially people under 25, as they grow older, they're allocating more and more digital things. More and more digital stores of value, right? You still got your boomers who think houses are going to grow at 85% per year forever. Fat chance. I mean, boomers are going to be retiring soon. They're just going to be dumping the supply on everyone. You won't be able to keep that up for long. And then you're just going to have one big leverage wipeout at some point anyway. You know that. The best thing about crypto, you don't need leverage. You know, the volatility is insane itself. So we definitely know we're in the future. But what comes next? That's the most important part, right? For us now, because we know, okay, long-term, everything's going to be great, blah, 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 blah. Oh, 10 years, you know, it's easy to just to say that. But for the immediate term, we're thinking about things like Ethereum coming back. Isn't it funny, friends? It literally came back and it nicked exactly this Fibonacci extension. Wow, this 3.382. It could be random. A lot of you are just seeing random stuff out here and patterns putting out. So, you know, it's outside of our control. Crypto right now, total crypto is only 3.67 trillion. I still hope it's going to 10. Okay. I personally, so you might say something, what if it goes to like 5 or 60? Well, to me, that's not like, I'm not scared of that. So if it goes from 5 or 6 back down here, like that's not scary to me. Like, you know what I mean? That's fair value, right? I want to see like actual explosion. Now, what I'm going to show you is we're going to go get a bit naughty, you and me. This is the Ethereum chart, 4-hour chart. This is I remember, friends, blockchain backer. I think you said something like this has like this little scammy skits part or something down here. I think we're actually meant to be in the scammy skits zone already and it's doing this. And if a fractal repeats, it just starts to go up only. Golly gee, it's always up only, isn't it? And we never get that, do we? We always go up a bit and then down only. So whatever, we'll see. So for general things we're waiting for, if you want to see, oh, when's the next market move thing? Okay, September 3rd, we have the business PMI data come out, but it's backwards looking. So the Russell 2000 already went up only in the past month. So it's probably going to have some sort of jerk up, knee jerk up, okay? And that knee jerk is just probably, it's going to go probably from its value of 48, which we have here, which we go back here. So friends, there's some racism here, trading view racism. So the ticky was 48. So it's probably going to tick up like 50 to 51 or something, just because everything just starts getting this jolt up. And you know, oh, US Fed cutting rates or whatever. You can just feel like some momentum part. There is nothing to be concerned about. The concern part is if we go up here. What happens up here? All right, we're not there yet. So we're still waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah, it's been a very, very, very long time. That data comes out. But forward-looking data kind of, and then ahead of what the market might react to is on Friday, which is the US jobs. US jobs, the unemployment, I think, is 4.2 or 4.3%. I don't know why. I just got a feeling it's going to spike up 0.2. I don't know why. Tell me, I could be wrong, whatever. Just a feeling in the air if I had to guess. And it's really going to start to kickstart this like stimulatory action. Family-friendly type of stimulatories from the US Fed, and that might get everybody, oh yeah, they're going to cut rates, but eventually we start to price stuff in. Okay, that would be the perfect trap, right? I've been talking about this for like 3 years at this point. The US Fed at the very, very end of the cycle starts to cut rates. We have the thrust up, right? And then they go, oh, you know how rates have been cut? They're now like, 100 basis points lower. Well, we're actually going to cut another 150 basis points lower in the future. And everyone's like, yes, it's going to be good. Like if we went, 10x in our portfolio from the last cutting and they're going to cut again, that means we should get another 10x. That's what people are going to say. But no, the next cut is going to be because the economy's actually turn and start to crack. But all of that is just guessing, wishy-washy until it all happens. Now, if you check out all the news, friends, what you've been seeing is Trump family. So Trump's family has launched World Liberty Finance token. Absolutely stay away. Don't touch it. It's rubbish. So it is DeFi project. It's a governance voting thing. Doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? But we already saw on-chain confirmed the token creators. So the insiders have sent $100 million of the token to ByBit exchange, and they've started dumping immediately. Wow, thank you guys. Thanks for not listing my coins. Such an amazing thing. Oh, of course, because they get paid, friends. They get paid. But I just want to show you. This is it. Yes, it's getting murdered already. But here's the thing. People are already on side, okay? Because the first level ICO was 1.5 cents. And the last was 5 cents, but you only get 20% of your tokens. And usually, so what happens with these things, friends, is the most amount of profit you'll usually get is at the very first clip. That's what you'll find. So I've done a lot of these, and like, yeah, man, I would never take profit on the first one because I just want to hold the whole thing. Biggest regret. They always go down. They always go down. So whenever you get any of these unlocks, just dump it, dude. Literally just do it. It's your money. Do what you want. I'll tell you right now. Just if I say to 100 projects, these people unlocking, dump every single one of it you can. Guess what? 99 out of them, you're going to save you money. One of them might be a unicorn, go up later, whatever. You didn't care about that. You're probably not even going to hold whichever one it's going to be anyway. So it's at 21 cents now. So that's the thing, right? So like if you got to get in at 1.5 cents, right? At 1.5 cents. So your real break even is like 7.5 cents. So that actually you make a bit of money. You make a bit of money on it. But this doesn't last long. What you'll notice is you only have like literally between 3 and 6 days to get out. Max, you should be getting out on like the first hour of the listing. And then after that, it just completely goes down and there's no demand for the tokens. So what they're actually trying to do is that they're doing this like self-pyramid perpetual crime kind of thing where, so what this is not guessing, they actually have done this. This is other A-name company. What they've done is they own the company. Okay, so they acquired a company, so they have a company. So but they're two balance sheets. So then what they've done is they have made a deal with the company. The company sends $10 million to buy World Liberty Finance, and World Liberty Finance buys their token or gets an equity stake of them. So it's like the Ouroboros eating itself. It's just to make you think that everybody's invested everywhere when not really at all. The token price is going down. If you'll notice as well, friends, if I go to the website, so the funding is actually positive, which means if you're long, it costs money to get long. Why? Because everybody who hedged, they start to get out and they're just going to exit it. Probably wondering as well, something, who creates a bid for this stuff anyway? Well, what happens, friends, is the market makers, they probably got Wintermute and other just scammers, these market makers. What they do is, see, people participated in an ICO. They have Justin Sun's money. They have everyone else's money, yeah? They put it into a pool, and the market maker, the bid of everybody's money put in, they can set whatever opening price they want. Yeah, because there's a natural rate of selling over time. And so they probably opened it up at a certain price, couple of billion market cap, because they wanted to kind of stay there, but it can't stay there. That's why they all open up somewhere and they just drift down over time. That's why if you notice Richard Hart coins, he doesn't open them up high. He opens them up from zero. You see, because there's nobody, I guess, with tokens who are like unlocking over time to do stuff. So he opens it up at zero so everyone can get out immediately. Yeah, that's what he wants. That's another way. No one does that like that. Because it's controversial, because you're like, well, if you're going to open it up near zero, you're giving other people a chance to get in. You know what I mean? But you took my money and I wanted to be in profit. It's very tough to manage. It's a tough thing. So yeah, it's heading straight down as insiders dump it aggressively. So friends, this is what you notice. I'm trying to help you, man. I'll try to help you. Okay, I don't care. I'm not angry or whatever. I don't give a crap. Some people, there's many people out there, they're angry and like, oh, Trump financing, Trump team, family, grifting. I don't care, dude. I'm just trying to help. Okay, you want to listen or not? So Justin's come out. Justin's son, his excellency, has come out. I'm excited to share my thoughts on World Liberty Finance. I truly believe it will be one of the biggest and most important projects in crypto. Yeah. So what Justin did was, friends, Justin got 40. Remember, Justin's a billionaire. He's one of the best swing traders in crypto. So he made Tron. He dumped, I think, $400 or $600 million of his token in the 2017 ICO mania. He literally got rid of, like, I forgot how much it was, maybe $400 million and $600 million. And then he kept all the money. And then he bought, it's funny, in the bear market, he didn't even buy Tron back. He bought Ethereum back between $100 and $300 in the bear market. And then he rode that. He made a couple of billion. He started selling Ethereum. He actually started selling when Vitalik started selling Ethereum in 2021. So after Vitalik started dumping, they're like, oh, the Ethereum Foundation is dumping on everyone again. Yeah, so he started selling. He had some leverage stuff at here. So yeah, he's traded himself up to be a billionaire. He's obviously founder of Tron. He goes, look, we have no plans to sell our unlocked tokens anytime soon. So he took $40 million. Remember, the SEC was after Justin. So he took $40 million and he became the biggest investor in World Liberty Finance. So he put in $40 million. And he also put in $10 million into Trump coin, I think. So he pretty much, and then the SEC removed his name from the investigation stuff. Right? So it's just, that's it. You know, you're on the president's side. So there you go. We have no plans to sell our unlocked tokens anytime soon. The long-term vision is here and powerful. Blah, blah, blah. So he's got, he's got this bull posting here, but yeah, I don't believe it. Just, personally, you can do what you want. I don't believe it. Just sounds like a nice diplomatic bull post, whatever. Now, what is the problem with these? Is the problem the token? Is the problem the team? No. The problem is we have learned too much. That's it. We've seen this experiment play out too many times. No one believes in any of this stuff. Everyone's in here for that. Friends, there was a point. You didn't even need to know the project. If you just got into ICOs, you win. This was many cycles ago. Yeah. Because no one knew what an ICO was. No one knew how to get in. You have to find these random obscure websites like CoinList and you could get in. Yeah. Now, zero. Now, friends, there's literally cafes of, I'm not exaggerating, like 50 Vietnamese kids, 50 Indian guys in these cafes. They sit there and every time there was an ICO, what ended up happening is they spam fake passports and they basically just ruin it for everyone. And they just spam to get in and they'll take their $100. And what the website started doing, they go, oh, instead of catering to 2,000 people, what we'll do is instead of putting $1,000 max clip, you can only get $100 in. So then they'll go, okay, let's let 20,000 people in, but they can only get in $100 or $50 worth. So it becomes worse and worse. And then guess what ended up happening? All those scammers, yeah, they were scammers doing multiple ID. They would sell their entry immediately. So they would get in the entry, $100, and they just go to the OTC market and they'll sell it for $200 straight away. So that's the cluster truck of what happens with now ICOs. Now that's why over ICO, just everything's dog shit. We all go offside. We'll go offside. We just lose all our money. There's no demand for this stuff. That's why, friends, like if you look around, okay, some people say Arthur Gaze. If you listen to Arthur Gaze says, oh, that means the only tokens that can go up, we want to see revenue. We want to see forced buybacks. Forced buybacks to go up, yeah? The thing is, friends, we've tried that in markets. It doesn't necessarily mean the token actually goes up. People use it as exit liquidity. We saw it with GambleFi. Only hype is a special case. It's wild. So you go, Sami, you're telling me that everything's dog shit, everything goes down, and if your protocol rakes revenue, it's not even a freaking guarantee that the token goes up. So what works, Habibi? There's only Bitcoin has the example. It just has believers. That's why. It's Bitcoin. It has believers. When they print global M2, it gets bought up. It rallies in our bear market. It is the bear market. It is the bull market, you see? And everyone else is trying to like add yield, add utility, add stuff out here. And hopefully we crack the code one day. But yes, that's it. That's why, like nothing, what else goes up? I mean, look at XRP. Basically barely any tech. No global standard, no world adoption. Didn't matter. Started popping up last year. So I'm looking at this stuff, friends. I've got to play some angel music for you just to smooth it over. It's a believer cycle, man. It's a believer's cycle. No one cares about all these other coins. Yeah. Sure, meme coin super cycle's in there too, but you got to believe in it. You have to believe in it. If you don't believe in it, okay, goodbye. There's 50 other thousand tokens that people are going to rotate in and lose their money to the LA Vape Cabal, okay? So look at this. 9 newly created wallets received $100 million worth of World Liberty Finance. And yeah, they sent it to buy shit. So there you go, friends. So yeah, so everyone has learned too much about these. They know how the game works now. They know all these things are down only. No one believes in them. Yeah. Look, friends, this is the thing, okay? I'm going to bring this chart up, and I don't give one truck if it makes you whinge, okay? Because it's the same thing what happened with Hex. Richard Hart copied Bitcoin. Bitcoin started from zero. When it starts from zero, you allow natural whales and believers to come in, and they get rich, and then they start believing in it, okay? That's exactly what happened with Hex. That's exactly what's also happening with pDAI. Now, there's a problem with Hex. The problem is that Hex didn't shake enough people out, okay? With Hex, fans, so look at pDAI. pDAI at the start literally dropped down 99.94%, okay? 99.94%. And then it dropped down again to zero, 99.78%, okay? And these were extremely violent biblical shakeouts, extremely violent, okay? So only strong hand believers are around, okay? If you go look at Hex, okay, there's a problem, okay? The problem with Hex is at the start, we thought it was a shakeout. Friends, this used to be bad back then, 50%, 60%, 86%. Friends, these used to be violent 50% moves. 50% is not a violent move anymore. All meme coins do that every time. You know what I mean? Like, that's why Richard had to, turn up the heat. He had to go down 99.78%. So we didn't know this was it. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we just did not know. Okay. And now you have a big violent shakeout that's happened as well. This is EHEX. By the way, BankX apparently is only down to like 56 million EHEX, which is only like about 6% of their original supply. They used to have 880 million EHEX. Now they only have like 55 million or whatever. So a lot of the supply is gone. So you get to see, friends, the type of these shakeouts out here, right? Yeah. This is not, it sucks, man. It sucks like that happened, right? And yeah, too many of, I guess, for every one Johnny Chaos, which is what I guess a good winner of the Hex community from holding Hex, you get, I'm not going to name names, you get extractor sharks who are just dumping. Yeah, and like they're not doing anything, right? It's tough. It's tough. So we're doing this in real time, friends. That's why this is risky. There's a lot of unknowns in this that we can never know the answer to because we have a sample size. Richard Hart is using a sample size of 1 Bitcoin. That's it. And we're relying on him that he can infuse something somewhere with the whole chain, right? But why I believe is no one else in crypto is doing this, okay? A few people are, a bit of Cardano, a bit of Culti, a bit of XRP Army, yeah. A few people are, but the majority are not doing this. The majority, they're mercenaries, swapping back and forth, so I'm happy to go down with the ship. And that's why I think this is going to work. I think it's going to work, right? Because you have tattoos, conferences, people who believe, right? There's no other example of stuff going on. Okay. Now you might say, but Sami, What about the Binance coin? That is special next to hype. They have a forced buy and burn of that. You see? But look at that, out of 100,000 plus coins, they're doing that, you see? And also with Binance, CZ owns 70% of the tokens. CZ owns 70% of the tokens, and Binance just keeps buying and burning and doing that. And friends, you don't know, right? Binance is now in second cycle. It's going to be third cycle next time. You don't know what it's going to do, right? You just, like, I hope it does okay. Just, it'll be third cycle, right? Like, what if, friends, in the next cycle, like, you don't know, right? What if Binance next cycle, maybe there are a lot of decentralized exchanges. Maybe everyone's got access to a DEX on their phone. You don't need to go through Binance. How are they going to compete? Right? I'm just showing you an example of how these things, like, they look amazing in their prime. Yeah, but then afterwards, what you got now, right? Because we were talking about amazing things like Ethereum last cycle and before, and other coins. Well, XRP did a 650x in its second cycle, which is 2017, right? So yeah, let's move on as well. World Liberty Finance launched USD1 stablecoin on Soylana. Soylana, remember, friends, it's got like between 3 to 9% of the stable coins in crypto. I think around there. It doesn't have as much stable coins, so we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Maybe it's our time to just check out the Soy ETH ratio. It's, oh my gosh, but you guys, friends, they got euphoric over this, bro. You guys, they literally got euphoric over an 18% move. I mean, like, this reminds me of every time Hex went up 10%, we all got euphoric for the past 4 years of that. So, good luck. MetaPlanet, friends, remember MetaPlanet, Dylan Leclerc, his Bitcoin Maxi, he's like the director of it. They bought 1,000 more Bitcoin. Their MNAV sits at around 1.9 or 2.0. So I guess we'll just, got to give it more time to see what can happen over there. But yeah, they're just leverage on the thing. So that's why these things trade at above 1.0 in a bull market, because the market is assuming that they can always find more coins. Because it's a bull market, then they can borrow more money to find more coins and basically let those existing people out. So obviously that's your risk. Your risk is that the Bitcoin's price starts tanking and starts stalling out. Just like leverage on everything else. Japan's post-bank, not pre-bank, but post-bank, plans to launch digital currency in 2026 to mobilize 1.3 trillion in deposits, enabling quick trading of blockchain-based products. That's awesome. So Japan really leading the way out there with their Pokemon Island and all their pachinko machines. So, annyeong to all my Japan baby dolls. Please don't let your yen die on the bumhole. Please, okay? I'd like my bull market first. Big token unlocks. Over $2 billion of tokens to be unlocked in September, led by PUI, ENA, and Craptos. Well. I mean, what a coincidence. The most KOL shield tokens, coincidentally, 3 of them add up to the biggest amount of token unlocks coming out month to month. Oh, what a total coincidence. Huh. So you're getting your tokens unlocked next month, and you're telling me that this thing is the next Ethereum that's going to flip Ethereum? This thing's going to crack Solana? Yeah, that's the game, friends. That's the game. You know what I mean? You're so used to it. But now you understand, right? They're going to get these and dump OTC. They do the same thing. They send it to the exchanges. They dump it slowly, whatever. Just to show you how retail is going to get wrecked on just everything, friends, as well. Now, this guy, a lot of people say he's a scammer. I forgot why, but apparently some people say he's done a lot of... But I don't know, friend, like, everyone's a scammer. Everyone does scamming. Oh, everybody shills a token at tops and they dump. Like, just assume everybody does that, man. Just assume everyone does that, okay? It doesn't... Just... You got to have street smarts, You really got to have street smarts. So, obviously, anything I hold... Yeah, friends, obviously, I know I like them, but other people, I assume, they're going to assume, oh, you're getting paid, you're an insider, but I know they're going to think like that. So I don't care what happens about today. I know, like, in, 3, 6, 9 months from that point, when there's big fat green candles and they see me posting about it, they're just going to have their jaws drop, like, right? So, but you don't know that with anyone else, right? And by the way, a lot of people talk a big game, and as soon as something drops 25%, they just click out. Right? So, you don't know, man. It's like doing a job interview. You just don't know who's going to be willing to stick there. That's why, friends, the army, when the army trains you, yeah, they tell you like, like, hey, do you think you're a disciplined and committed person? Everyone says yes. Yeah, they go, okay, we'll see. We'll take you to that. What's that Navy SEAL team training, that war week or whatever it is? The hell week, where you literally go out to the freezing cold at 3 a.m. It's like minus 10 degrees, and then you got to carry logs, and you can't sleep for like 36 hours. You're starting to see shadow people. They're basically killing you, literally killing you. And then you got to run like 10 miles. Absolutely get destroyed, right? And they say how many people can crack? How many people crack? How many people just persevere through the pain? You don't know until you just see it. So this is a conversation. He goes, Trump has so many rug coins under his belt. Not one single previous crypto project, token, or NFT is still talked about. And you thought World Liberty Finance would be different? Crazy the things I see in crypto Twitter. No wonder it's so easy to make money here. My counterparties are retarded. So it's basically he dumps on people, right? Decrypt Girl. How isn't this different? There's an actual technology being built around World Liberty Finance. Trump and Melania are meme coins with obviously no control on circulating supply or how people buy and dump. Did you miss the pre-sale? So wrong. It doesn't matter if it has utility. It doesn't matter if it does not matter. There are no believers. People sell things with utility all the time. You need believers. Cook replies, because it was 6 hours later after it launched. He goes, narrator, it in fact was not different this time. And then she says, bro, it's literally day one of token generation event. It did a 20x from pre-sale. Obviously, you haven't been paying attention to what World Liberty Finance is about. It's not about Trump's family. It's not a meme coin. There's funds invested, countries, ecosystems. And then he posts, friends, his leveraged short position. He's up 360%, just selling it at 25 cents, and it goes down to 20. Having a quick peek at it right now. So it's just come down here. But yeah, man, I mean, like these things, gosh, it's tough. It's tough, man. We don't have that. That's why, friends, crypto can change your life. That's why it's really erratic, because we don't have a formula that we know works. In stocks, you know the formula. Yeah, everything trades at a price to E ratio. Yeah, there's multiples that can deviate. You got to make a product. There's a CEO. They all have the stock standard stuff. You know what I mean? Literally, no pun intended. Stock standard stuff. In crypto, we don't. We just have Bitcoin. Miracle Coin absorbs global M2 units. But then the business cycle each time, it's like a new life every single time. It's a new subsect. It's a new sector of coins that moves every single time. We don't have a formula for someone who can last the test of time. But by the time we do figure it out, everything's going to be much higher than now, and the growth rates are going to be gone. Way lower. They won't be gone forever, but way gone. Now, Treasury Secretary Besant says President Trump might declare a national housing emergency in the coming months. Whoa. National housing emergency. Oh, by the way, friends, I just want to show you. These are the token unlocks coming. Oh, wow. Pump funds unlocking 34 million. Arbitrum, Jeet, Toe Labs, Eric Waltz, Starknet, Soy, Pui. Yeah, here we go. So whatever. Okay, now, a national emergency for housing. Because obviously, friends, all of us, look, most countries around the world, we all know what's happening. All right. Look, we know. Look, it's not even up for debate anymore. It's not up for debate, because the debate on the other side is coming from fat, blue and purple haired freaks who chop off their own genitals and tell you to do the same, who sit in hotel cuck chairs, who skip leg day, who eat bugs. They're bug eaters themselves, okay? So your opinion, it doesn't count, okay? You are your quintuple vaxxed, and you'd rather save a pet turtle than like 7 starving children, okay? You're one of those PETA freaks, okay? So no one cares about them. Now, it's very obvious what's happening. There has been an international collusion to dilute many races in many countries, okay? There's been an infiltration. It's very obvious. Duh. They come out. Friends, this is the funniest part. How come it's always Africans and Indians coming to every country? I find it. How come where's the sprinkling of Italianos and the Frenchicans and the Antarctic people and the Greenlands? Okay, how come it's where all these? How come it's literally they start sending like ones that just turn over everything? Okay, it's every single time. It's very obvious what's happening. Okay, so that's number one. Number one goal is you dilute everyone out here. So whoever can get control, they can concentrate and they can basically outwit everybody else. That's right, friends. If you go check all your politicians in all your countries, you probably think the amount of damage they're doing, they're getting paid a lot. But they're getting paid like $8,500 to just join in the same thing that just keeps immigrating people, okay? The immigration is unsustainable. 16-year-old kids can't even get part-time jobs at McDonald's and stuff anymore because heaps and heaps of immigrants have come. It's unsustainable. Now, here's the thing. They're running this in overtime now, but the crack of the economy will eventually make people riot. Because once the economy cracks and not everyone has their jobs anymore, which is just inevitable, what happens is, guess what? You know that car you have in your driveway? Better park it in your garage because you're not going to have your hubcaps tomorrow. They just start stealing. They just go back to what they were doing in the third world country. Now you can't do anything. Now people lose their jobs and you have the death spiral coming out. So this is a huge crack in the system. I don't think it's going to happen yet. I just feel like whenever these stories happen, there's always the big boom that happens first, right? But I want you to remember this because this is actually what's happening. And look, I want to believe that it reverses one day, but I'll tell you right now, it does not reverse until it hits a breaking point. So we got to think, what's a breaking point? The economy has to crack at some point, and then there's people rioting in the streets, and the immigrants. Okay, it's happening in Canada. You know, it's happening. It's so like how come they're always immigrating? Friends, it's not even real refugees. Okay, it's always males between age 16 to 40. They're coming by themselves. They all say they're refugees. You don't have all these families of women and children. They're coming out, hanging out train stations, doing all this stuff. You always have like this Swedish all the Swedish media, all these other people. They're all brainwashed, man. They're just totally brainwashed. And if you dig far enough, you see where it's all coming from. Now, you and I know this now. What can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. You stay long crypto because there's only one way out of that problem. They're going to try print more money. Yeah? So you might say, oh, no, but it might be inflationary. You don't know that yet. You don't know that yet. They're going to try print more money, okay? So all these problems, friends, by the way, what I'm saying, it already happened in Canada. It already happened in Canada. They immigrated too many, and I'm not saying all Indian people like this. I got Indian friends. You know what I mean? But there was for some reason they immigrated just some aggressive Indian dudes, and I don't even know if they were really aggressive, but maybe in Canada because everyone's really nice. They seemed aggressive, but they were like riding and jumping on cars. You know, maybe there was a bit of fire and stuff out here in the streets. It got out of hand. Okay, so they said, okay, we're stopping this immediately. The real estate prices of Canada literally started dropping within 60 days, like immediately. Okay, my jaw dropped. I thought it would have taken years and stuff. Yeah, so it started dropping immediately. Then you have the death spiral. Then it's got to bottom out. Now, obviously, Canada's okay. Why? The rest of the world's still in boom time. Okay, but you got to think what happens when there's multiple countries, all their recessions start cracking, and everyone's got this problem. Okay, so this is a problem you can see later on down the track. We can't do anything about it now. And, you know, I'm not going to mid-curve it and go like, oh, no, there might be a problem later on because you still don't know, okay? But there's this controlled plan that's happening. Every single country all around the world happening like that. Like, but we see what's happening in England, okay? It's funny. In England, if you draw, how did I get to this? In England, you can get basically fined and sued for like posting the English flag to people. Because they say like you're a white supremacist. The English flag. You're in England. How does that happen? You know, so just to tell you, these things always get way worse before they get better. And what I'm talking about worse is like, yeah, really bad. I'm talking, it could be knives, violence, one of the politicians' kids. You know what I mean? Like something bad happens, something like really bad, where like everyone goes, we got to go to a town meeting. Now we've hit breaking point, right? But there's only one thing keeping everything going, friends, is the economy. Okay, that's why the unemployment rate's spiking up and we get that final sugar rush. That might be our big global liquidity thing. So we'll see how that all plays out. I'm telling you all this stuff now just so, you know, you've planted some seeds in your mind. So like, you know, when Trump's family has solved off 75% of their tokens, and, you know, maybe total crypto has hit 10 trillion and Ty Lopez is back, right? And when we're seeing all of that, you think twice about saying, I think I'll hold for another 2x. And that's all I want, okay? Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you soon.